Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Chapter 9. This is Exercise D, parsing English to Latin. And by parsing, we mean the exercise or act of giving the parts of each word in a sentence in order to correctly read that sentence. So how do we read? We start at the left with the first word and parse, dissect each word as we encounter them moving towards the right. So when parsing an English noun, we are to give the reason of that noun. That is, the syntax, the job, the function of that noun. And since English syntax is mostly derived from word order, the placement of that noun in the sentence, where it is, it's not too difficult to determine a noun's syntax, its reason. Then we determine the noun's number, either singular or plural. And then from the noun's reason, we determine the noun's case in Latin. And then once we have the equivalent Latin dictionary entry, it's just a simple declining game. When parsing a verb, we are to give the person, the number, and the tense of that verb. We are now adding active voice and mood, either indicative or imperative mood. And then once we determine that, and we have the equivalent Latin dictionary entry, the principal parts, it's just a simple conjugating game. So starting with sententia prima, number 1. Are the new letters untrue, my queen? So this is an interrogative. We're asking a question. If it were a declarative, a normie sentence, it would be, the new letters are untrue, my queen. But this is a question, so we have inverted the subject and the verb. And that verb is are. So, define the subject of the sentence. Ask yourself, who or what is doing the action of the verb? Who or what are? What is? What are there? There are new letters. The new letters are untrue. So the new letters are the subject. We have are, a linking verb, and that is to be. Sum esse fui futurus, if the new letters are the subject. They are the subject, third person plural. They are, present tense, present time. Voice, the answer for voice is going to be active until I say otherwise. And then it's not an imperative, it's not a command. Are is an indicative, indicating fact. So we want the third person plural, present, active, indicative. Now because we're asking a question, and we're expecting either a yes or a no, a neutral yes or no answer, we're going to start, whatever our first word is going to have the enclitic ne, N-E, attached to it, like an alien parasite. Ne will be attached to the first word of the sentence, whatever that is. I like to attach the verb. I'll have the verb as the first word and then attach the ne to the verb in sentences like these. So I would say sunt ne. The third plural present of sum is sunt. Sum est, sumus est is sunt. So sunt ne. All right, the new letters. We determined that new letters will be the subject. So new is the adjective novus and must agree in gender, number, and case with letters. A letter, an epistula I feminine, we want the nominative plural because we determine it's the subject. If the noun letters is nominative plural feminine, the adjective new, which it modifies, must be nominative plural and feminine as well. So epistulae novae. Novae epistulae. Now we have the new letters are untrue. Are the new letters untrue? With untrue being an adjective, falsus aum, and it's the predicate nominative. So that's also nominative case, and because it's an adjective, must be plural and feminine because it's modifying letters. So novae epistulae sunt falsae would be the new letters are untrue. But we're asking the question, so sunt ne, novae epistulae falsae, and then we have to add the my queen. Notice my queen is offset by a comma. This is the direct address, so the vocative case in Latin. We want meo saum and regina I feminine. If regina is direct address, so vocative singular, if it's vocative singular feminine, meo saum must be vocative singular feminine, so mea regina. And the vocative rarely comes first in the sentence because it looks so similar to the nominative. It's usually postpositive, that is placed after the first or second couple words or operatic phrases. So we have sunt ne, mea regina. Notice I offset it by commas. Novae epistulae falsae. Are, my queen, the new letters untrue? Are the new letters untrue, my queen? Optime. Secunda. Sententia secunda. Tell the story of your dangers, my son. So tell the story of your dangers, my son. We have tell. This is an imperative. We are commanding. We're ordering someone to do something. Imperative mood, not indicative, but imperative. The imperative of narro, narrare, narravi, narratus, to tell, to relate. That's what a narrator does, a narrator. He tells, he, she, or it tells. So it's an imperative. We want the present stem, narra, as the singular imperative, and we are ordering my son, who is singular. So singular imperative. We want the second person, singular imperative mood, present active, narra, narrare. So it's narra, narra. Tell the story. So the story, that's going to be the direct object, the noun that receives the action of the verb tell. Tell the story, a fabula, I, feminine, a fable, a fabulous story. So we want the accusative, singular, direct object. So fabulam, fabulam. Of your dangers, the story of your dangers. See the preposition of? That's the genitive case in Latin, of your dangers. The story made up of your dangers, about your dangers. So you can use the, actually you should use the ablative here. The story of your dangers, the story about your dangers. The story about your dangers. So instead of using the genitive here, forget I said that. Let's use de, the preposition de, 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 plus the ablative, the story, what's it about? Your dangers. So we want your dangers to be in the ablative following the preposition de, de, about or concerning. We're talking to you singular, they're your dangers. So tuus, not vester, but tuus aum, to agree with periculum e neuter. We want the ablative plural, so periculis, and then tuis to agree with it. Also ablative plural neuter. Tuis periculis, periculis tuis. My son, vocative, we are addressing my son, direct address. The vocative of meos aum, so meos, the vocative of meos, the masculine is me, mi, me, and then the vocative of filius e masculine son. Well, it's a second declension masculine, filius, ends in ius. The vocative is the letter I, fili, mi fili. So, narra mi fili, fabulam de periculis tuis. Fabulam mi fili, de tuis periculis narra. Remember, the vocative is rarely first in the sentence. It is usually post-positive, placed afterwards. Tertia, we are ready. Sail to the island, sailors. So we are ready. Subject, we, and then are, and ready. Now you could say paramos, we are ready. First person, plural, present, active, indicative of paro, parare, parare, paratos. We are ready, paramos. But you could also use the adjective paratos aum with the linking verb sum esse fui futurus. So let's do that. We are is first person plural, present active indicative of sum esse fui futurus, because it's irregular, you have to memorize it. Sum est, sumus est is sum. So sumus, we are. And then the adjective paratus aum, ready, prepared. Let's make it nominative, plural, and masculine because the Romans were sexist. So sumus parati, or parati sumus. We're also talking to sailors. Semicolon, sail to the island, sailors. So sail, here's our verb. It is an imperative mood. It is a command. We are ordering plural sailors, y'all, you sailors, to do something. So not indicative mood, but imperative mood. We have navigo, navigare, navigavi, navigatus, to sail. We want the singular imperative, naviga, and then give it a te, navigate, to make it plural. So navigate, the second plural present active imperative, navigate. Where are we going? We're going ad, preposition ad, to, towards, the accusative motion towards, of insula, I, feminine, island. The accusative is insulam, so ad insulam. Ad insulam navigate. And then sailors. Notice that the vocative, direct address, we are directly addressing the sailors by their title, by what they are, offset by a comma. Sailors. We want the vocative plural of nauta I, masculine, and all plural vocatives are the exact same as their plural nominatives. So nautai. Parati sumus, semicolon. Navigate nautai ad insulam. Ad insulam nautai. Navigate. Can you hear the comma? Navigate, comma, nautai, comma, ad insulam. Ad insulam, comma, nautai, comma, navigate. Optime. Quarta, sententia quarta. I had walked with my friends through the plains for a long time. Probably when you should have been doing your homework. So I had walked. Walked is the verb. You walked with friends through plains for a long time. So walked. Who did the walking? I did. I am the subject. I is first person singular. When did it happen? What's the tense? Had walked. That is pluperfect tense. Had walked. First person singular. Pluperfect. Active voice. And it's not a command, so it's the indicative mood, not the imperative mood, of ambulo, ambulare, ambulavi, ambulatus. So the first person singular pluperfect would be ambulav, perfect stem, plus eram, ambulavaram, ambulavaram. I had walked. With whom? In the company of my friends. Ablative of accompaniment. Preposition cum, plus the ablative of accompaniment to show in the company of. Meos aum, to agree with amicus e, masculine. We want ablative plural for both and masculine. So amicis meis, cum amicis meis, cum meis amicis. Now ambulavaram. Through the plains, per, P-E-R, per, preposition taking the accusative, motion towards, it's going through, it's movement. The plains. Latin word for plain is campus, e, masculine. We're going through the plains. We want the accusative motion towards because of the preposition per, through. So accusative and plural, it's plains. Of campus, e, masculine is campos. So per campos. For a long time describes how I had done the action of the verb. How long? So this is an adverb for a long time. The Latin adverb is diu, D-I-U, diu. And we're going to put it close to the verb. So, altogether, the sentence could read something like, Per campos cum amicis meis diu ambulavaram. Optime, quinta. My sons, give money to the unfortunate, to the poor, to the wretched, the unfortunate. So my sons, notice the offset by comma, my sons. This is the vocative, so vocative plural, direct address. So we want meosaum to agree with the vocative plural of filios e, masculine sons. The vocative, all vocative plurals are the same as the nominative plurals, all of them. So the nominative plural of sons is filii with a double I. The vocative will be filii as well. And then we want the nominative plural masculine of meos, and that's mei. So mei filii. Remember, vocatives are rarely first. They are post-positive. So they're usually placed after the first operative or emphatic word or phrase. So we're going to throw mei filii somewhere else down the line in the sentence. So give, this is an order. It's a command. We're ordering plural sons to do something. So do, dare, dedi, datus, and it's an imperative mood. The singular would be da, present stem, dare, second principal part, chop off the re to get da. But we're dealing with plural, so da, te, add the te, date. Give, what are we giving? We're giving the accusative direct object money, pecunia, I, feminine, direct object, accusative, and that would be pecuniam, singular, money. The plural would be monies, different kinds of currency. Here we have only one kind of currency, money. And give that direct object, that money, to the indirect object. The indirect object is the dative case. Notice this is a substantive adjective. Unfortunate is an adjective. We have a definite article, not just unfortunate someone, but to the unfortunate. We're talking about unfortunate people, unfortunate persons. And we're implying the noun people or persons. So we just want the adjective, miser, misera, miserum, and we're going to treat it like it's a noun. So dative, plural, masculine. Sorry, the Romans were sexist. Miseris, miseris. So something like pecuniam miseris mei filii date, or date mei filii pecuniam miseris. Sexta, sententia sexta. They carried the money into the town yesterday. So who did? Who carried? They did. Third person plural. They carried. When did they do that? In the past. 3 past tenses, got to pick one. This is the perfect tense. They carried. They not had carried, not will have carried. They carried. Perfect tense. So third person plural, perfect, of porto, portare, portavi, portatus. Perfect stem, portav. Third principal part, chop off the I, portav. And then add I isti it. Imus istis erunt. Portaverunt. Portaverunt. What did they carry? The direct object. That would be the accusative case of pecunia, I, feminine. Accusative is the direct object. Direct object is the accusative. So pecuniam portaverunt. Where? Into which place? In plus the accusative shows motion towards into or onto. So we want the accusative of oppidum e neuter, a town, into the town. Oppidum e neuter. So in oppidum, in oppidum. So pecuniam in oppidum portaverunt, and then yesterday is an adverb describing when the action of the verb took place. So heri, like your heritage, is from yesterday. Heri, H-E-R-I. So pecuniam in oppidum heri portaverunt, or portaverunt. Septima, sententia septima. Boys, carry water to the tall envoys. Not the short ones, the tall ones. So boys, we are directly addressing boys by what they are. So boys, young men, offset by a comma. So direct address, vocative case of puer, pueri. Because it's plural, all vocative plurals are the same as the nominative plurals. So pueri. And we're going to offset that word by a comma or commas, and also not put it first. Because it's postpositive, we'll put it further on down the line. Carry, because we're talking to plural people and we're ordering them to carry, we want the plural imperative mood, not the indicative, but the imperative of porto, portare, portavi, portatus. The singular would be porta, porta, and then plural boys would be portate, portate. Take the singular porta and add te, portate. What are we carrying? We are carrying the direct object, the water. Aqua, I, feminine. If this word is the direct object, it must be in the accusative case. So aquam. Portate aquam. Portate pueri aquam. And in which direction are we carrying this direct object, this water? Well, we're not giving the water to the tall envoys. That would be dative indirect object. We are carrying. That implies motion. We are carrying the water towards, in the direction of the tall envoys. So we want odd, preposition odd, to or towards, plus the accusative motion towards. The adjective tall agrees with envoys. So altus aum, to have the same gender number and case as, that's legatus, masculine. So odd, accusative plural, legatos, and then altos. Odd, legatos, altos. Altogether, something like, aquam pueri ad legatos altos portate. Octava. Tomorrow we shall seize the camp and the town. So tomorrow, adverb kras, describes when the action will happen. It will happen, future tense, tomorrow. Could also be future perfect. It shall have happened tomorrow. We shall seize. Well, that answers that. It's future tense, first person plural, future active indicative. It's not an imperative. It's not a command. It's an indicative. It's indicating fact of occupo, occupare, occupavi, occupatus. So occupa is the present stem, and the future ending, first person plural, is bimus. So kras occupabimus. Oh, what are we seizing? We, the subject, verbing the direct object, the camp. So camp is going to be kasra, orum, neuter plural. So the direct object, we want the accusative of kasra, always neuter, always plural. It's going to be kasra. And the town, we want the conjunction and, so et. We could also say que and attach it to the end of town, or we could use ac or atque if we want to emphasize and also the town. Let's go ahead and just use et. So et, town is oppidum, e neuter. So oppidum, e neuter, town. We want the direct object accusative oppidum, because it's neuter. So casra et oppidum, or casra oppidumque. Or because oppidum begins with a vowel o, we would make this atque if we wanted to use ac. So casra atque oppidum. Not just the camp, but also even the town. Atque oppidum. Okay, all together we have casra et oppidum cras occupabimus. And nona, sententia nona. The woman was beautiful, but unfriendly. So the woman is the subject of the linking verb was. The subject was the predicate nominative. It's an adjective. And then we have an adversative conjunction, but unfriendly. Another predicate nominative, equivalent to beautiful. Both beautiful and unfriendly are modifying the subject woman. So predicate nominatives all around. Singular and feminine, because the woman is singular and feminine. And she is the subject. So femina, I, feminine. Linking verb, sum esse fui futurus. Third person singular. Imperfect tense. Probably the imperfect tense would be better here, as opposed to the perfect tense fuit. So let's use erat. Eram, eras, erat. Eramus, eratus, erat. So erat. Femina, erat. What was she? She was poker, pokra, pokrum. Nominative singular feminine. The predicate nominative will be pokra. So femina era pokra. But is sed, S-E-D, sed. Unfriendly. Inimicus make it nominative singular feminine. The predicate nominative, inimica. The woman was beautiful but unfriendly. Femina erat pokra, sed inimica. And decima. Are you the daughter of the farmer? So, are you the daughter of the farmer? We're asking a question. If it were a declarative, a non-question sentence, we would have, you are the daughter of the farmer. So this is a question, are you the daughter of the farmer? Asking a yes or no question. So let's attach a particle ne, like an alien parasite, to the first word of the sentence. Are you? So who is? Who are? You. You are the daughter of the farmer. You, second person singular. Present active indicative of sum esse fui futurus. You have to memorize that one. So sum est. Sumus est sunt. We want es. Give it the ne. Esne. Esne, and then daughter. Daughter is going to be predicate nominative. We want the nominative of filia I feminine, because you is the subject, are is the linking verb, and daughter is the predicate nominative. It's a noun. Esne filia. Nominative of filia is, wait for it, it's filia. Of the farmer. Are you the farmer's daughter? So of the farmer, farmer is a possessive noun, possessing the daughter. So we want farmer to be in the genitive case. The genitive case. So we could say agricolae, the genitive agricolae. We could also use the dative of possession here. Are you the daughter to the farmer? Which would also be agricolae. So really, it makes a difference. Just keep in mind that the dative of possession is a thing that exists. So esne filia agricolae, esne agricolae filia. Either one works. Optime, very well done. That wraps up for exercise D. You are now ready to move on to the Lectio Latina.